Yeah, welcome to the A of A, but it's the remix. Now what you got to say?
Remix. Shooks.
Vibration going up, so get out the way.
Ptah. Welcome to the A of A.
It's the A of A remix.
This is when Jupiter aligns with Mars, when the moon is in the 7th house. As this Aquarius combines bars, these heavy punchlines hit you in your mouth. Then I say welcome to the A of A, where information comes free, still you gotta pay for living expenses, food, artillery. A black Adonis fighting harder than the Creed trilogy. I'm leading my fam as the breadwinner, the spirit guider, the protector, head spinner, dead sinner. I'm in the middle of the mayhem, not for games, don't you ever try to play him. Official air sign, I'm a rare find, 100 reps hitting every step on the stair climb. Everybody, welcome to the A of A. Intellects duck down when my mind sprays. Everything is changing on the world stage. We here now, it's the Aquarius age.
Everybody, welcome to the A of A. Everybody can't go and it can't stay.
Third eye pump, so what a hater say. I left y'all clean cut like razor blades. Yeah, I'm a psychic, 12 houses ignited. Moon and Scorpio hook the bait, then watch you bite it. Yo, I glow like the moon, my tongue a silver spoon, igniting angles of light while sipping Lotus Bloom. Age of Aquarius, smooth like Sagittarius. Came out the underground, you would think my name was Harriet. Yo, whoever thought I'd have 500,000 followers? That's what you get when you rock with black astrologers. So ain't no stopping me, I guess I'm an anomaly. I had to tell it honestly, I'm probably born a prodigy. I walk with no apologies, age filter alchemy. You hated me as God blessed, but fell in love with Mama T.
Ordinary life can hold extraordinary potential. You gotta feel it to believe it, that's the vice I'm into. I like my poison organic, baby, the price is mental. I don't make the rules, but I read them all, cause I like to bend them. They try to shame me for my sorcery, wrongfully. Now they stuck in lower dimensions, wishing they cross with me. Bitches, you out your mind, they ask when they talk with me. Pause, how the fuck you think I'm alive when there's war coming? The veil's lifted, the light revealing dark corners. What was once a conspiracy seem like harsh warnings. Vaccinating the population that mark on. Experiment on the people and bring the martial law in. Politicians in Hollywood do the trafficking, but higher frequencies are united now and we after them. Everybody, welcome to the A of A. If you can't move forward, just get out the way. Everything is changing on the world stage. We here now, it's the Aquarius age.
Everybody, welcome to the A of A. Everybody can't go and they can't stay.
Banging this knowledge on your mental like Jesus and Buddha. The force of Kali Yuga with the grace of Queen Afua. Aiming my bars with precision like 100 shooters. I'm the yang and yin, perfect blend of the soul of the lunar. I see 11, 11 sevens, 444, 222s. My angels always ready for war. I see that 888, now my power's restored. Watching ninjas fall on these swords, now they gotta applaud. Age of Aquarius, my water bearers make it happen. Your karma's on the line, ringing like the planet Saturn. Generational curses broken, we shift the pattern. You stupid if you think I came out of the rib of Adam. I'm the primordial water flowing, the dark fluid. And when you see that open portal, better walk through it.
Everybody, welcome to the A of A. Welcome to the A of A. Welcome to the A of A. Everybody can't go and they can't stay.
Hey, everybody can't go and they can't stay. That's Age of Aquarius.
Peace and blessings to the family. Welcome to another episode of Do Not Radio, place where knowledge is born. It's your host, Knowledge Born Alive. We here, okay? We here like it's a Friday night on a damn Thursday. Let me tell you something. There you go, damn, on a Thursday. All right.
Hey.
I told y'all, do not bring no damn water up in here, okay? Don't bring no water up in here. Bring Kool-Aid if you want to do something.
Oh no, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, put a little Kool-Aid, put a little Hennessy in the Kool-Aid. Okay, I heard it's alkaline like that. We do it like that. Yes, but we are here on this magnificent Pronoia Promo Starseed All-Star Dream Team collaboration situation. You understand what I'm saying? We waiting for season 6 like Power. You understand what I'm saying? We waiting for season 6 like Power. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, make my funk the Pronoia funk. I want my funk uncut. You understand? So it becomes my honor and privilege at the time to introduce something with the others. And welcome back to her other platform. Y'all heard me, right? The Starseed Gatherer, the Starseed Mama, the Starseed Unifier, the Starseed Whisperer, the Starseed Motivator, and the Starseed Corrector, the Master Channeler, Mastermind, Visionary One, here to give us a message from Spirit and to show us some love. Okay, show us some love. One and only Pronoia Podcast on God. Right.
Hey. I feel like I'm coming out on I knew the bomb was coming.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I'm coming out on a basketball team.
Yes. Pronoia.
We gotta get the P jerseys.
Woo! How you feeling?
I'm good. How you doing, Knowledge?
I'm good, you know what I'm saying? Working on my tan. They say the blacker the berry, the better the podcast.
Okay.
Don't get no better than Pronoia. Okay.
I'm doing good tonight. Look, peace and blessings to my sis, my video girl in the building already.
She here? What's here?
She in the audience.
Get out the chat and get on the stage. Like, what are you doing?
She's like, look, I was on yesterday.
So I got the night off. Okay. Nobody tell y'all do back-to-back shows. Okay.
Right. She'll be back. She'll be back on the 4th.
Yeah. Yes. So you, right, in this vision, and your vision coming together in alignment, how does it align with this dude that's next to you right here, the janitor? How does it align with the janitor in your overall Pronoia vision?
She said, not tonight. Okay.
Tonight.
Not the janitor. Okay, so I will say I have always been thoroughly impressed with you, Knowledge. You know, like everybody be saying I'm the hardest working woman in Hollywood or podcasting because I be doing so many shows. But I just be trying to keep up with Knowledge because Knowledge, I'm telling you, I tap in as much as I can, but I see you all the time and I love it. I love your consistency and your dedication. And I feel like you bring the ability to teach us how to express ourselves in a way that I think a lot of us crave to learn, you know, to be able to bring out our true selves in words and in ways that, you know, we may not be able to normally express it. And a lot of times, you know, we don't know how to ask, you know, like if I want to, you know, I write poetry, but not everybody is able to, you know, write poetry. It's not that they're not able. It's just that they haven't found someone that they have been, I believe, impressed on enough. Because the thing about anything that you want to do is to find like a mentor, someone who's been doing it. And when we're talking about telling our stories, you know, I don't know anybody who does it better than you. You have, well, you could tell them, you know what I mean, this is your show. Everybody knows that Knowledge has his own book collection of, I mean, and it's what now you added to the series. So how many parts is it now?
It's 13 altogether 13. Now. Ooh. And counting.
Yes, that's that divine feminine number 2. Yes, 13. Yes. So no better storyteller do I know. And I feel like that brings in also all of the different facets of Pronoia, because we have people who are we're learning about ourselves, right? During Pronoia, we're learning our numerology. We're learning how to master our own self through the self-mastery guru. We're learning about our human design with Claudia. We're learning about the scripture in a different way than we learned about it before with Ptah, you know, and we're learning about our bodies with Mahatma Starseed, and we're learning how to expand our full capacity with Adonis, you know. And so then we learn all of these things, and to bring it all the way back we need to now be able to tell our story. We've learned about ourselves, and now we need to tell our story. So I believe the role that you play is going to be very important. A lot of us, again, aspire to write books and to tell our story in a way that is powerful and meaningful and can also impact others. And we may not know how to do so. So it would be great to have that type of mentor, someone who is able to, again, give us the knowledge. And this is why I do Pronoia. You can come once a month. Now we got 7 Starseeds. I mean, you can learn 7 different subjects without, and I'm not even including when I come on and I teach through Transformation Tuesdays, because I channel. And so you can get divine messages at least 8 different times in a month in 8 different ways. So if you are receptive to numerology, you can go that route. If you are receptive to, the mind or so, you can go that route. It's so many different facets. Again, it's like a book, but it's more like an encyclopedia collection. It's not one book. Like I said, the Starseeds all are their own universes. And so again, to have knowledge on board, I'm gonna tell you, I felt like knowledge was, so of course I think we all are our own universe, but in a way you were kind of like a mega universe in my eyes. So I'm like, no, I ain't gonna want to come on Pronoia. We ain't gonna go over here, boy. I'm over there. You want to come over here? Yes. And I mean, I believe that you add so much. It's just that, again, I don't even see when people start talking to me about the impact Pronoia has and stuff. I'm just here doing what I'm doing. So sometimes I don't get to step back and see that this is something that is really growing. And, it's bigger than what I think it is. And so when you and I talk, I thought it was it's going to be, again, a very big chunk of the mirror, because learning how to tell your story after learning so much about yourself, you know what I'm saying? It's very important. And so I think it's going to be beautiful. I think the collaborations are going to be amazing. I'm so excited for you guys. And again, when I was talking to Crystal, my bestie, Miss Smart Videogirl, behind the scenes, of course, she gets a little preview because she's the bestie. And I was telling her, I was like, I really want you and Knowledge to work together, because I do. I want you and Knowledge to do at least an episode or so together, because she does a lot. She's a authenticity coach, right? So you're our story alchemist. And what we're doing is teaching people how to tell their most authentic stories, right? And so I think together, you guys, again, that would be a beautiful mashup, just like Ptah and Mr. Westbrooks, and then again, Claudia, we'll talk about human design. I think we all can just, intertwine so well, because it's all about the self. At the end of the day, it's about rediscovering the self and taking back the time that we missed out on knowing ourselves and catching up. Like, you get at least 8 amazing shows a month with different starseeds that can tap into different chakras. We got the 7 chakras. Look, you got each starseed can hit you in bing, bang, bing, bong, boom, bop, bam. Type of shit I'm on you wouldn't understand. Yes, Brittany, thank you. Love the different starseeds. I think it's such a vibe. And I think we all bring, again, our own energy, but it's beautiful energy. Everybody's willing to work with each other. Everybody brings their own knowledge. And I'm so excited also to have masculine energy this season. Not just one. We had one man and he was holding it down, but now we have 4. We have 4. Wow, I think we might be outnumbered. No, it's even. We have 4. We have 4 male starseeds this season. So I think that's going to be a beautiful, because we have different shows. We have the, divine masculine and divine feminine shows coming up this season, where we're going to focus on, again, bringing back that love aspect, because really that's what everything is being aimed to destroy right now. is the love, because that's the strongest and most powerful vibrational earth. So having us coming in this type of balance, I think it's going to be a beautiful thing. So I look forward to season 6, the season of Venus, the season of love, the season of togetherness and rebuilding and forward movement.
The bomb is coming. You know the bomb is coming. The bomb is on its way, about to make impact in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Got this. Okay. Can we turn this into 21 questions? Okay, because you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Is you mad because I'm asking you 21 questions? No.
Yeah. Can we turn this into 21 questions? So we just go back and forth with the questions. Just make it whatever. All right. Look, I see your description. You said no holds barred. So that
no holds barred.
Let's go. Let's go. Whatever you want to ask, shit, let's go.
All right. So
y'all see her face though? Wait. Did y'all see her expression? Okay, like she's like, "Oh, you sure you ready for this?"
What is it that you look forward to in season 6 as becoming a new starseed? What do you look forward to offering the starseeds who come and tap in?
Well, I'm giving Pronoia my master class on the art of storytelling. So volume 9 is dedicated to mastering the craft of telling your own black story. So that's the title, right? And I say black story because I'll be talking to black people, but everybody else in the world can benefit from this. Because I'm talking to black people. I'm talking to the necessity of us sharing our story. You here on purpose for a purpose. And that purpose is a story unto itself. Your name is a story unto itself. Your place of birth is a story unto itself. You got them beautiful black God babies. They have a name and they have a birth story. You understand what I'm saying? Their labor story is something. And something that I credit in honor and love to my mother. May Allah be pleased with her. She told us all our name story and our birth story. I'm young. She used to sit us around. There's 7 of us. Okay, I got 6 siblings. Right, 3 older and 3 younger. Directly in the middle, the knee babies. So shout out to the knee babies out there, the middle children. Okay, the eldest child and the youngest child. I don't care nothing about y'all. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the middle baby. I'm joking. But she told us our birth story. She told us our naming story. We had several names over the years. And she explained to us why she gave us the name, and then why she changed the name and who we were named after with each. So those transformations along the way became stories within themselves. How you grew up is a story. You can have siblings and y'all sit down and compare notes and you be like, where did you live at? What household you was up in? You understand what I'm saying? But if they have their own perspective, which is relative to them, that's a story. Where you went to school, that's a story. You understand what I'm saying? So all these aspects in regards to one place or another, the neighborhood you lived in, all of these things are stories unto itself. So when you're telling your story, someone else can relate to that. Because everybody had a birth. Everybody has a name. You understand what I'm saying? So if you don't imbue young children, those young gods, with that information when they're young, they're going to seek validation outside. And for you to be a channeler very young, for instance, God Israel, and striving to make sense of it, you thinking you bugging out, you seeing stuff, you hearing stuff, things being revealed to you. And if it's not nurtured, then you won't know, oh, okay, you seeing your grandmother, you seeing your great-grandmother, oh, that's your aunt such and such, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's just your uncle, da-da-da-da-da. If you grow up in an environment like that, that's a complete different set of nurture to add to your story versus you ain't seeing nothing. You ain't got no imaginary friend. They start trying to close those doors, right? Try to close those doors and cut you off from aspects of your story versus embracing those aspects of our story and our culture and the way that we walk and move and live, and saying, okay, now we're going to add to this. You see what I'm saying? Like you had your bestie on, you and your bestie got your own story. Y'all got your own world, not just a story. Y'all got your own world. You understand what I'm saying? So inviting people into your world becomes a thing. And now what role are they going to play? Pronoia was a thought world that existed in your mind, and it became a reality. And now you're adding a cast of characters in based off of their superpowers. So you're facilitating a space for people to come and share their superpowers and tell aspects of their story via their skill sets, right? And so the alchemical blend of all of the great ones is me learning about everybody's story in regard to them and then their offering. So now you know they're gonna come over here. They're gonna have to do an interview over here. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, so I have to dig deep and then give everybody their special space because we're part of the dream team. You see what I'm saying? The dream team, the Pronoia Globetrotters, whatever you calling us. You understand what I'm saying? We out there, and it's it. And if you ever seen the Globetrotters, they do everything as a unit. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they play that game. They work that ball around it. You know, they have fun. You know, entertaining the crowd. It's a great show, and everybody goes away, you know, up and glad. They're not in the competitive war space where you like, I'm a Knicks fan or I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, and it's tense. It's gladiator combat. So you cheering for the destruction versus the upliftment. You know, they be having children out there. They be doing all kinds of stuff. So the healers that are involved, right? The healers and the magnitude of those restorative folks that are coming in that space. Everybody's coming with, you know, they're coming with an antidote. Everybody's coming with an antidote. So every episode is an antidote for an affliction. You understand what I'm saying? And I want people to be able to share their story authentically, so you don't think that they got to dress up and try to become somebody else other than themselves. Your God-given self is enough. And that story needs to be told because somebody can relate to that. You see all of these things, like we grew up watching the Cosby Show. They're like, don't nobody live like that. Nobody we know live like that, but there are people who live like that. Right. So it gave credence to a space where people do live like that. So they lived like that, and that was their life. You know, so we were looking for relatable experiences in regards to our own life, and we wished we had that or Full House or whatever other craziness we was watching when we were young. We were trying to have that little thing, but our family was enough. And you understand what I'm saying? Our family was enough, and our life experience, you know, prepared us for our life experience. So all of those things being calculated in a sort of masterclass, you know, one episode at a time, where we delve into those things, because I want to produce more writers and narrative changers that look like us. Mm-hmm. You know, the younger, the better. You understand what I'm saying? And there's no age for you to be able to start. You know, any age. The younger, the better, because they have a longer life ahead of them in regards to what they can record, what they can do. And you start producing content and stories and things like that from young, it's something you can have for the rest of your life. And you can leave for your children and their children as an inheritance, so they can inherit your story. One thing I always talk about, God Israel, you know, Muhammad Ali recorded himself. He recorded himself random times, day, night, every place, blah, blah, blah. Whatever was on his mind, he recorded it. So now his great-grandchildren have thousands of tapes of their great-grandfather in his own. They don't have to think about what the world has to say about their great-grandfather or grandfather or father. You understand what I'm saying? They can hear his voice. Mm-hmm. They can hear his thoughts right there, real time. So he had his own thing where he recorded himself, and they can go back through all of the years of his life from when he started recording. Who would know later that he couldn't use that same voice that captivated the world? He knew. It was in his heart, in his head. He didn't know to what degree, maybe, but he had an inkling, because this is where the inspiration came from. So you get to hear his story in his own words. Your story is unique. Your story is unique as a raindrop or a snowflake. But then it becomes a microcosm of a macrocosm of a universal story that can be told where everybody can glean from it. You can hear Harriet's story, or you can hear Jesus' story and be like, I can relate to something in there. You understand what I'm saying? Your children go missing. You be like, where the hell you been at? You understand what I'm saying? Mary like, hey, where the hell you been at? He like, what you looking for me for? Oh, you talking back? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so it's the relatable aspect of the story. Like, yo, I'm out here doing my father's work. So you out here doing great father's work or great mother's work, or doing the work of great mother and great father, great family in that regard. So, one of the things I'm looking forward to is, sharing that with the Starseed audience and getting more adept and in line with the stories of the great dream team that I'm a part of. You know what I'm saying? I was all up in your business. You was all up in my business. You know what I'm saying? So we was about the business of the business of healing, the business of redemption, the business of understanding, and through our experiences and our shared experiences, other people was like, oh, yo, that was deep. People like, yo, I didn't even know you had feelings. I didn't even know you was a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, they looking at me like, I thought you was just God. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't know what, this other stuff. I didn't know you felt. Yeah, but I'm definitely looking forward to sharing the stage with my family and, hopefully giving out some divine instruction on how to craft your story and get it out there for the world. Somebody just read one of the excerpts from my book, From Nameless to Knowledge, on Facebook just now. You understand what I'm saying? And I was all proud. I'm all smiling like they could see me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, so they see you and they see your work. They see what you produce. So you have a platform of healers that bring an antidote every episode. And I don't know how many antidotes you done gave over the years. You understand what I'm saying? Breakthroughs, breakdowns, all of those things. And, channeling a message from divine for us every episode. So you get an antidote and you get a crown load. Shout out to Ty Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? We ain't saying download no more. We saying crown load. We approaching this age of Aquarius. You understand what I'm saying? We crown loading them here. So that's my response. Yes. And shout out to Brittany Bob. Brittany Bob is sacred to me. She's sacred. You know what I'm saying? I met her through linking with the Soulful Oracle Miss Blue, and she's a vibe. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? I understood what I heard. I heard vibe. We old, so vibe is different for us. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm old, but I don't mean old like because she ain't never over 21. You understand what I'm saying? Like 21 is it. That's it. After that, ain't counting no more. You understand what I'm saying? So she's forever 21. The store looked at her and said, we have to know what to call that. That's Forever 21. So we're going to open up this store called Forever 21 based off of Goddess Rael. You understand what I'm saying? So that Forever 21 aspect is
not Forever 21.
Forever 21. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, Brittany is a vibe. Talented rapper, singer, artist, author, poet. She do everything. You understand what I'm saying? She do everything. That would be a great guest for you guys, Rael. That would be a great guest. You understand? Because she deals with the science of meditation and getting you back to yourself, getting you right, dealing with wholeness, dealing with oneness, and all that thing. And she got an amazing story. And she just survived. Like, literally, she survived. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she made me understand what a vibe is in this sense. She's literally, figuratively, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually a vibe. She is. You know what I'm saying? So, the Brittany vibe. She is a vibe. You understand what I'm saying? If she ain't in the chat, it ain't where it's at. You understand what I'm saying? If she ain't in the chat, it ain't where it's at. You might want to go someplace else. You understand what I'm saying? And I know I ain't see Adonis yet, but I know he's gonna pop up. Adonis is the Mofo MVP. Okay, the MVP. That man is in everybody chat. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody chat. I was like, oh, looking at that. I said, that's Adonis. Okay. That is the definition of support. The definition of support. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, definition.
Shout out to the Starseeds.
Anytime, day and night.
Today, Mr. Westbrooks made Pronoia's was it? He on a streak for the #1 supporter on Pronoia on Facebook. So shout out to Mr. Westbrooks. He's
I'm
on
gonna give
his
him a run for his money. I didn't know we was having the competition. I don't mind. You know
I know it was competition. Top fan. That's it. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Smart Video Girls. Top fan.
As long as you ain't say only fan, that's a different thing. I'm like,
oh my God, no OnlyFans. You know, I was thinking about doing the OnlyFans, and you know, they click on it and see me just doing the same thing I do on Pronoia. Obviously, they're trying to.
Gotcha.
Like, I want to pay you. Go pay this. I ain't taking nothing off, but that damn fakeness in your mind. That's it. Coming for the title.
Yeah,
coming for the title. Laugh out loud.
All these things are subscription based, so you have to do. I ain't gonna say I have to do. The goal of the virtual space is to get you to someplace physically, right? And to use something free to advertise for something paid. That's the goal. We got to remember that. We have to remember that. To go from somewhere virtually to somewhere physically, meaning wherever your strongholds and support is at, there's supposed to be a situation where you can interact with them physically. And then advertising, utilizing every means that is free out here to drive those supporters and convert them into family, because family pay family. Family stay family when family pay family. I'll tell you that. So if you in that familiar, you paying your dues, you paying your time, and it should be some tributary in regards to support. It's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? So that is supposed to be the goal of the virtual space, to get you somewhere physically and to convert those supporters into long-standing tried and true spaces where they find value in your offer and they support. That's real. That's the goal. That's why everybody else is out here. That's why everybody out here in this global virtual marketplace. I'm quiet on that. Yeah.
He's dropping knowledge. He's supposed to drop the bomb on us. See, you gotta.
I be forgetting for me. I just be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, the janitor who be sweeping the floor and taking out the trash. Okay.
Oh my God.
I be doing. I do that with pride. I'm telling you, it ain't nothing like renewing my commitment to the earth in that way. You know, because we live in her womb. We're trashing up the womb. We live in her womb. We live in her cosmic womb. We live in her physical womb, and we live in her virtual womb. When you log on over here, you log on into her womb, and you want everything going right up in here. So, yeah. So renewing that commitment to the earth in that regard. So, God Israel, what is a movie that you always go back to, and every time you see that movie or movies, maybe I'll give you 3 because it's Pisces season, you know what I'm saying? I don't just have you in one little bubble that you watch, and every time you watch those movies, you see something you didn't see before.
That's hard because I don't watch a lot of movies.
You seen something. Whatever you seen when you looked up, you seen a movie. You seen something.
I did. One of my favorite movies. So funny because like when I was growing up, my aunt, she's very, when I was growing up, she's very pro-Black. Okay. So she had like, and when, pro-Black back then was very Afrocentric type, and she had everything Afrocentric. And then I would come in the house and she'd be watching Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. And I'd be like, this is so crazy. Like it'd be the whitest Western or something like that. Like promise you, it will be something. And I'll be like, but she'd be so like, power to, and I'm kind of like that too. Because a lot of times when I do watch movies, it's because I want to take my mind off the fact that I know so much stuff. So I try to watch movies to zone out, not to really zone in, unless it's something I have to watch, because I'm already getting downloads all day. So when I watch movies that have so many messages, which all of them do, that's number one, all of them do. But the movie I thought about was Legends of the Fall. And it was a really, I don't know why it was so impactful to me when I first watched it. But then I watched it a couple of years later and I totally saw I saw it totally different than when I first seen it. And I don't know if you guys ever seen it. It has Brad Pitt in it. It has Anthony Hopkins. And it's a very, I don't know, it's an interesting movie about, going to war and people dying and then someone's, brother marrying the wife of the guy who dies. And I thought it was just an interesting movie. I looked at it from different perspectives. As you go, there he is. Yeah, I seen it when he popped in the building. Okay. Yep, King Adonis in the building. But yeah, Legends of the Fall was the movie that I thought of immediately when you said that. The other one was John Wick. I love John Wick.
The first John Wick or all of the John Wick?
For one, I love John Wick. Just all of them. I could watch them all, except for that last one. I ain't really like the way that John went out. I ain't like it at all. Nah. Because I can relate to John Wick. So I try to I really could relate. It was so funny because I'm late. Again, I don't watch movies. So I watched John Wick when I was going through some John Wick ass shit. I was going through a spiritual warfare. Yeah, when I was just trying to be at peace, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to mind my business and sipping my dang going mushroom coffee, and folks try to mess with me. And I felt John Wick, you know what I'm saying? He up there minding his business. He trying to grieve his wife, and here they come with this bullshit. And I felt that though. And I don't know, I don't even like gruesome type of movies and stuff, but it really woke up the little dragon spirit in me. It was like, yeah, get their asses, fuck that shit. I get tired of people picking on the ones they think are soft or the ones that are just trying to everybody knew John wasn't soft, okay? But he was trying to move on with his life. And when you try to move on, that's what Transformation Tuesdays, March 10th, Tap into Pronoia is all about, going to a new frequency. When you try to move on, there's a lot of times when things of the past try to hold on and cling on to you. They try to make you be who you used to be. And John was always being pulled back into who he used to be when he really had a vision of who he wanted to be. And he had to die to get to that vision. And that's the thing, is sometimes we got to die, and if not in the physical, in the spiritual sense, and be reborn and leave certain things behind in order for us to really find the peace that we seek, because people are going to always try to pull us back to who we used to be. And so, yeah, I love John Wick. I enjoyed the movie. I'm trying to think, because I think Obama told me, and I was like, ugh, I was sick to my stomach. Somebody told me right before I seen the last one, oh yeah, he gonna die. I was like, motherfucker, and then I watched it and it really messed me up, because again, I did not want it to go out like that. But sometimes he did.
No, he ain't dead.
Oh, good. I don't want him to be dead. You know what I'm saying? But
so,
yeah,
I'm ready for the third movie. I love the choices. I'm just telling you that. I love the choices. So what's the third?
The third movie, I just seen it. Wow, that's crazy. The third movie is Girl Interrupted. That movie, wow. So again, I watched it when I was much younger. I was probably in high school when that movie came out. It was very weird at the time when I was growing up, but I was also weird growing up. So I thought it was interesting to see her go through what it was. Winona Ryder, Angelina Jolie. And it basically tells a story about a girl who goes to a mental hospital. And she meets another girl who off the chain. And, I really, first of all, now I really appreciate the title of that fucking movie. Girl Interrupted. She was just like, again, just when you in your own zone, and Girl Interrupted. Right. And that's what life will do to you, though. It'll throw you off just to put you right on the right path. And you'll have to see things you would have never experienced. Think about going into a mental insane asylum. Like, you never probably think you would experience this, let alone meet someone as wild as her companion was. But that story in itself gave her a story. Like you was talking about, everything in our life is a story. And her story, that was a very interesting story. All of those girls were interrupted. All of them had their own stories going on within that movie. But even though Winona Ryder was the main character, I don't even know if that was her last name, but whatever.
Yeah.
That chick from Who's the Boss, she was the main character. All of them had different things. With the girl who was hiding the chicken under the bed, I thought that was weird as shit. But I get it now, though, because there is something about, so it was bigger. So that's why I can't watch movies like that. So now I watch it, and it's more than that. Wasn't just a chicken; it was a secret. It was a secret that she kept holding in, and she had many of them under her bed. It was just became a thing. And that's something that we do as people. We hold on to shit because that's what it was starting to smell like in there, trying to be like in there, because she was too ashamed to even just get rid, because by getting rid of the carcasses, that would mean that she ate all of that, and then people would judge her. And again, we don't want to be judged by other people, so a lot of times we hold on to things, and then we may seem like we crazy because we're holding on to things that we should really be letting go of, but we too embarrassed because we worry about what other people think. And I learned that, later on in life, to not really give a shit what other people think, because everybody else got their own shit going on, and really what they're doing is projecting onto you. So stop worrying about what they think and throw that shit in the trash. Because that movie, if y'all never seen all them bones that was under her bed and all that stuff that she was hiding, and it was deeper than that. It had to do with, it was a lot of deep topics that were, and these women were all in here because they had a breaking point. And again, that's another thing, another topic, women and their breaking points, because we are always seen as strong and holding on to so many things. And a lot of these women just had breaking points in their lives. And that's how they ended up in this insane asylum. So I thought it was a really dope movie. But yeah, I definitely seen it differently from when I was younger to when I was older.
Dealing with body dysmorphia and all of those things, like the things that this society capitalizes off of is very sickening as well. So this place where you're supposed to be able to be in an isolated, sort of controlled environment to help you work through the maladies, have you drug addicted and more gone than repair, right? So feeding off of the amount of beds, right? The amount of beds in a mental hospital is the amount of beds that they have to have filled in private prison. The same that they have to have filled in the shelter. You see what I'm saying? So when you start thinking about those things, if there's an empty bed, there's not money that you're getting in. So the breakdowns of society become a gold mine for those corporations who operate off of the lower desires or the underpinnings of man.
Yeah.
So somebody has to go to prison. Somebody has to go to jail, right? Somebody has to be on probation. Somebody has to be on parole. Somebody has to say, oh, it's an issue in my marriage, or it's an issue in my relationship, or it's an issue here, or an issue there, or it's a defect here, a defect there. And there has to be some place where you got to go for that. And then there are people who got the nonprofits or the non-for-profits or the governmental organizations or the non-governmental NGOs, all of these things in regards to these programs that are programming your subconscious or your unconscious towards these inclinations. So they'll tell you, oh, don't be making up no excuse. And they have entire academic fields dedicated to excuse. Oh, he wasn't well, or he wasn't that. That's why he shot everything up. That's why he shot everything up. Or he just wanted to shoot something up. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, these maladies in regards to that, so there are disconnects that are there that proper care could address versus this isolation type of situation. Every criminal or quote unquote villain that they had in, say, for instance, the Batman story, they went to his mama's psychiatric ward. You understand? Like, they went to Arkham, right? The Arkham for the criminally insane. That's his mama's. Like, so he out there like a mass vigilante. Nobody's saying nothing wrong with him, but he out there going after these criminals, and he don't take their life. He just drop them off in his mama's mental institution with his daddy's weaponry. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so how crazy is this that this billionaire is running around like a masked avenger, snatching up regular people who have defects based off of the environment they in. They poor and they in the slums. So he's out there preying on the poor. This billionaire's out there preying on the poor. A billionaire orphan is out there preying on the poor. The orphans that come from the orphan institution become the criminals that he's now fighting against and putting them in his mama's institution. But they call him a hero. You understand? They call him a hero that the police commissioner can have at their beck and call. So it's just interesting, like, when you're speaking about this movie in regards to the stories, right? Instead of them saying, okay, this is the dark night of the soul aspect, and you have to journey through that place, through your fear, through all of these other places, right? The dark night of the soul, right? They're not telling you that part. That's what healing looks like. That's what coming back comes up. That's the phoenix rising from the ashes. They're not giving you the principles. They're telling you that the society will reward this behavior of you being not yourself versus you being yourself and fully functional, where you can affect change in the way. He could have did way more as a billionaire than he ever could have done as a vigilante, right? But there's a defect. There's a deficit, right? So if, my movies would be The Wiz, The Last Dragon.
Oh, I just watched that. Don't even go there. Yeah, I gotta know. You can't. Oh, that was a good one.
And Ghost. We could get into it, right?
Yeah, I love Ghost too.
With the backslash of Eve's Bayou. Like Eve's
Bayou. Oh, God. Okay.
More than Ghost, but Ghost is something where, it grows on you, later in different aspects. So for me, it's The Wiz. I always go back to The Wiz and find something that I missed along the way. The Last Dragon. I've been watching The Last Dragon since I was a
Me too. That's my
a little. I was trying to look on my picture with me and Tomac. Yeah, I met him in real life. You know what I'm saying? You know, I met, you know what I'm saying? Who's the master? Okay, I told him to kiss my Converse. You know, you understand?
We started on The Last Dragon.
Yeah, no, you know
that's on Pronoia. That's coming up on Pronoia. I can't get too much in it.
I need an invite. I'll be offended if I'm not involved in the Last Dragon.
For the Dragon series, it's the Last Dragon.
Yes. Don't please, pretty please invite me. Okay, you are the Last Dragon. You possess the power of the globe.
That's right. Now, if you haven't tapped in, it's called "Don't Slay My Dragon." It's the series. I had I think I've had like 3 shows on it so far, and the last show is The Last Dragon. So I got you. That's funny. That's
so
funny.
The Wiz, The Last Dragon, Ghost / Eve's Bayou.
Oh yeah, Eve's Bayou.
Eve's Bayou is one of the many reasons. As soon as I said many reasons, my Lisa popped up in here. Okay, the reason that we're here. Okay, all right. So one of the many reasons why I honor, love, protect, will kill, and die for the Black woman. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying?
I'm listening. I gotta grab my snacks because you about to start talking about movies. I'm hungry now, so
that's mad Pisces. Like you understand what I'm saying? Mad Pisces. So what we're gonna do real quick is play a little song and come back. So we here live and we having a party. Okay, so don't be coming up in here with no water. Come up in here with some Kool-Aid, with some Hennessy.
Everything's a vibe. Like, this is science. Everything's got its own frequency. We know that energy is neither created or destroyed, it's merely transferred or transformed. When we speak in energy. I don't even think people pay attention half the time in conversation when I say, I feel you.
You said I read your mind the other day, but baby, we are just connected deeply in another way. That telepathy connection, energy that's manifested through that melanin, electric currents traveling kinetic. What you thinking? Call my mama. But my mama calling me. Coincidence, no higher common sense. I call it ESP. We are magic while this world's unraveling. 5G cannot limit our abilities from traveling. See, I'm on another level, dirty digging. Homie, get the shovel. I'm a rebel in this motherfucker, dancing with these demons. Got them screaming. This world is planting fear inside us. Clearly, I'm just over all the brainwashing. Time to wash your brain of all the pain, of all the stress, all the lies you told yourself. Open your eyes and realize you're a diamond in the rock. Don't let them tell you what you're not. It's time to show the world all this magic that we got with telepathy.
So hear me clearly. For me, language is liberation. The words that we have, they define and describe the very things that free our mind, but only when we choose with intention and pay attention to the frequency of the words that we use to construct our realities. Who do you say that you are? I am. Those 2 words alone are the very beginning to a powerful sequence of awakening yourself to who and all that you are, have been, and will be. We talk in frequency.
Focus your energy. Clouded visions, poison minds, can't see clear enough. The world full of interference, so God ain't hearing us. My spouse miles away, can't even take a walk in public. Coronavirus got us locked away like lab subjects. Close your eyes and you can feel the pain, we all connected. Empath, so I sense when every soul's ejected. A mystic, magical, way beyond simplistic. 5G blocking my chi, keeping our signals twisted. Communicate with my mind, mental telepathy. Into nature, so we speak on different frequencies. My third, I watch, the other 2 never truly see. The world is an illusion shrouded in secrecy. A king by birthright, a god at first sight. Divine shine bright, blind the wicked at first light. Open your heart chakra and let these words shock you. We telepathic, use your magic like a witch doctor.
soul. I command your soul to listen. Nukta chaz un mesura aritun ak em ta tema'u. Nukta chaz un mesura aritun ak em ta tema'u. Nukta chaz un mesura aritun ak em ta tema'u. Nukta chaz un mesura aritun ak em ta tema'u.
Here, the centuries of loneliness were to end. Your collection of Leonardo da Vinci masterpieces, Mr. Flint. They appear to have been recently painted on contemporary canvas with contemporary materials. Then, age, death, the taste of dust. Do you understand? You wanted a perfect, ultimate woman. As brilliant, as immortal as yourself. Your mate for all time.
Merkaba master, I charter demons to other worlds, drive devils to plaster, rush them to hell, breathing asthma, place Satan on gurneys next to Hermes, send them off to their journey to Cleopatra. They read those chapters, egos captured, the Leo laughter, neoplasma, run through my veins in this matrix, and my basement became a plaza, and now I'm in the Sky Lounge with negative spirit hackers, build on math and we read the chapters, observe through our windows at the quiet disasters, riots at NASA, marches, gender pride, freedom rights for the masses, till we do away with first and second citizen classes. Religion is backwards, trying to comprehend to the pastor. This gym is like Jasper. Either we all live and strive for the youth to survive, or it all ends with the rapture. Forget waiting on the man, I'm making a plan. And for the ages of false statements, I'm taking a stand. Start an investigation on Satan with a cross in my hand. Make him plead guilty, now face the jury. We're in the courts of I am. If I could just vanish from off the planet, like magic, become caught from granite. Days, mathematics is understanding.
Hey, hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear. Hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear.
A billion stories in the naked city. Ghost told me that his best friend needs a kidney. We froze, reminiscing Tiffany in the cold, open whiskey from the 20s, in the memory, sympathy, made the angels play a symphony, said he could've had a scholarship, toured different colleges, now he's out of it, faded away slowly on dialysis, his name remained anonymous. But here's my acknowledgements. Street legends and hood guards. Kingdom fall into a mirage. Ghetto depression sets in. Then we place weed and cigars. A child has difficulties concentrating. From where he lives, he sees his promises fading. He sees his pops gone, his mom's is aging. She trying to stay strong for a church congregation. And meanwhile, a kid named Rico was the coke king. A lot of siblings of the dope fiends hope you scream. A lot of children with broken dreams, homes were clean. The most extreme, you got rich and what you sold to queens. Look what you did to Josephine. And Ebony is unheavenly. The devil's ready with open wings. As Lucifer uses love and his youthful mug. Then his blood on the cobra's fangs.
Hey, hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear. Did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear.
Yes. So again, I said the Wiz forever, okay? The Last Dragon forever. Ghost, right? I could easily have said Ghost Dog, but people know Ghost versus Ghost Dog. But in the backslash Eve's Bayou, there's never not a time with those movies right there that I don't get something that I didn't get before. You know, there's a host of movies I could go through. I could go through The Matrix. But you said John Wick. John Wick is. I want to. Can we have a little brief discussion on John Wick? Can we have a little moment? I know you chomping over there. You know, but it's all good. John Wick is so rich. John Wick is so rich in its connection. There's a movie, right, John Wick, but John Wick is connected to the Matrix. John Wick is connected to the Matrix on a multitude of levels, not just the actors, but the story, right? The guy who directed the John Wick series is a master stuntsman who became director. He did all of the choreography and the gun scenes and the fight scenes in the Matrix. He did all of them. So he became a director kind of like default because he wanted to tell the story. You know, this story that him and Keanu went through, like what a fine-tooth comb. And I learned a lot about Keanu's acumen to make sure that what's being portrayed on the screen, he put his body through and his mind through. So he did those stunts. He learned how to do those stunts. He learned how to be a gung fu mixed martial artist. So all of the sequences is him. So the driving sequences, the fighting sequences, the gun sequences. If you looked up him and Halle Berry going through this training sequence, and one of the aspects that they show of him training for that one scene that they're in together, that's a year of training. A year of training. You know, for them, mixed martial arts, at the range, all of them going through tactical engagements, working with those dogs, all of that, like even down to the commands. You're getting German shepherds to respond to commands in Arabic. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so she's doing those things, right? And they're going through this canine sequence, all of this stuff, all of that for that scene. So it's an elaborate scene that they put down into parts. So this is the kind of study in mind that goes into that. And there's an aspect where he's taking less money or like little to no money to make sure that everybody's paid. So he's putting his name for people to be involved, and then he's not taking the money to make sure that everybody's paid at that, you know, in that level, right? So now it's like, okay, they're telling a story. They're telling a story that was based off of the story that they wrote. The story that they wrote was an old man. But he said the old man's story is not realistic. Old man who is a retired assassin. He leaves the life. He's raising his family. This thing's happened, and they're supposed to have broke into his house and did the essay with his wife. And he said that's not happening. He's not doing a movie where that happens. So they took the old man concept and have a seasoned man with a story from when he was a kid. So that's how long he has been in this assassin world life. So he is a prototype of an archetype. The archetype is the guy who kind of plays like his father figure. Winston, right? The guy who is the guy over the hotel, right? He has an assassin past that they go back to in the Continental series. So he's the archetype. Now the prototype is John Wick. So everybody in the assassin world, they're not there for the archetype. They're there for the prototype. So everybody's training is based off of this orphan with no family, and they become his family. Right. So you seeing how these parallels kind of go in there. Neo, they don't talk about his parents because Sophia Stewart said that his parents was John and Sarah Connor from The Terminator. So they become his parents, and he becomes the second coming of Jesus Christ, right? John Connor, in this lane of him becoming the neophyte. He's the neophyte. He's the Christ or the Savior in the body of a neophyte, someone who knows it not. So the Morpheus has to morph him from the neophyte into the ransom sacrifice. So the story in this assassin world is based on the prototype of John Wick. Right? John Wick is the one that everybody is striving to be like. But once the assassin world says he got to go, all of the would-bes and wannabes are after him. So I'm laughing, right? Because I know exactly, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I understand, right? So this space of these would-bes, these Rudy Pool assassins that would have been able to put in work in any other place, but this guy, this is your father, right? This is your father. So if you saw the movie Gemini Man, it's based off of Will Smith's character. So the Gemini Man, they're seeking to mass produce. Gemini means to copy, right? So if you hang around the Gemini long enough, we'll copy you. You know what I'm saying? So my niece and I'm born on the second, she's born on the first. Our language is don't copy me. You understand what I'm saying? That's how we talk. Don't copy me. Yeah. Your uncle on the phone, tell him don't copy me. You understand what I'm saying? She ain't playing, right? But we are copying each other. So we're saying that, right? So that copy becomes something that they replicate, right? So they're replicating this entire world, and they want these would-be assassins to be the prototype and not the archetype. So the prototype is John Wick, right? So that's the agent in the Matrix copying himself. Because the neophyte copied himself onto the agent, and this is how the agent is able to make everything itself. You know, we had them tapes where we was overdubbing. We put the little tissue in there or whatever we put in there to be able to copy over the tapes. And we overdubbed and we made our pause tapes or whatever tapes it was based off of that, right? So the copying or the overriding of the program, right? And Matrix 2, he said programs having hacking programs. And then in John Wick 3, we see him with the key maker from Matrix 2. He's the surgeon. He's the guy that's, sewing him up or putting him back together, who sacrifices himself so that Neo could go meet the architect. So the worlds have overlap, not just with him and Lawrence Fishburne's character being in the movies and being reunited on the screen for the first time since The Matrix. It's a whole story within the story that's based off of the interconnection between Chad Stahelski and Keanu Reeves. So the guy who did all of the fight sequences, driving sequences, all of the stunt sequences for The Matrix becomes the guy who's the director in this movie, that they simplify and they express through the dialogue that's not out of John Wick's mouth, but out of the Russian who gave him out and was talking to his son about an impending fate where he's going to get eliminated and there's nothing he could really do about it. And it's still his son, so you got to try to call somebody to help. You understand what I'm saying? And he calls a friend, right? So a friend is there, and his name happens to be Marcus, and it's Willem Dafoe, right? And in that scene where he got a clear shot on him to be able to take him out, he doesn't take him out because he's his friend. And in that place where he's tied up and he's like, people keep asking me, am I back? And I didn't know what to say but now I'm thinking, yeah, I'm back. So he's like, all right, y'all want me back here? And that was the scenes where when he's showing him using these old pioneer tools to break ground on the floor and unearthing those aspects that he thought that he could use the cement to go. So when you're talking about they trying to get you back to the old you, they're getting you in essence to the God you for you to go over back into the God you as proof. You understand what I'm saying? So they go into something that they think is your funeral and don't know that you ascended, right? So back to the Christ figure again. So the stone was moved. So they went and was like, what the hell? I thought we was going to the gravesite. I'm like, nah, what you witnessing is an ascension, not a funeral. You think a funeral, but this is an ascension. So ascending back into himself, and nobody can do it like him. So in essence, he's going to war for that divine feminine aspect that they offended. That's what makes it more powerful than anything, right? So Helen, his wife, they dishonored her and dishonored the companion that she left for him. You see what I'm saying? Because the story is supposed to be centered around an older man, but older men in this not age, experience. So he was the best of the best that came from the best of the best. So he's essentially number two, but he's looked at as number one. So he fights instead of number one. Number one is Winston, right? You know, the guy, Mr. Wednesday from American Gods, right? He's number one. And he fights instead of number one, and he draws all of the attention to him. So they're after him. So he preserves number one. He even takes a fall from grace from number one, because that's the only one who's close enough to him to be able to have him in that position of vulnerability so he can secure his position. And he doesn't mind falling from grace, right? So that's that one part. But John Wick, in essence, from another level, represents the bullet. So John Wick 3 becomes important as like parabellum. If you want peace, prepare for war. So in part 3, parabellum comes from parabolic. Parabolic is that science that governs the law of a bullet. So the world will have you think that a bullet travels in a straight line, and it doesn't. It arcs and dips. It arcs and dips on the way to its target. So you don't see it with the naked eye, but it goes through that process. So the parabolic is the science that studies that. So you could see him up and down, up and down, up and down throughout the series, right? The ebb and flow of life. So it seems as if it travels from one date to the next date, but life got a bunch of twists and turns along the way. So you see him and you think he up, you like, yeah, all right, and then damn, how he but then he go down and then he come back up. He go down, he come back up. You understand what I'm saying? So you get to part 4, you like, yeah, he finally, oh, what's this? Oh, what's this right here? So you see all of that because part 4 was supposed to be the end of the series. So they give more story and odes to all of the films that they loved over the years. So they give an ode to David Carradine's character and Kwai Chang Kang and Donnie Yen's character, who's the blind assassin who's going after him, and he's his friend. You see what I'm saying? So they put that story there. They have the lady from the movie Warriors from back in the day with the announcement of the lady on the radio, right? So they give an ode to her based off the Warriors movie, and plenty of other movies that are in there that they have as homage to cinema, because they're like, all right, if we're gonna go out, we're going out with a bang. So the elaborate scenes, like they show up with the black man with his dog, right? You see what I'm saying? It's like, and he's, Mr. Nobody, right? Like, is he connected to Halle Berry's character? Like, who's this dude, right? You like, he's not nobody. He's Mr. Nobody. You gonna call him Mr. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so, like that's that whole little aspect of those movies that they all put in one movie, right? The kung fu flicks, the samurai aspect, the knock to the euro, like all of those things all in one movie, because it's like, all right, we're going out with a bang, we're going out with a bang, like they're gonna remember this on a multitude of levels. But the people wanted another movie, so they're like, nah, we need some closure or something. We need something. Don't play with us like this. You understand what I'm saying? So they didn't want to do another movie, but they're doing another movie because the people want another movie. So that's however the angle is that they come in for and with. That's the joint right there. But yeah, John Wick is a story that's told with the action sequences and not necessarily the dialogue. But the dialogue is told in part 1, right? The Russian tells a story and he tells his son, like, it's not what you did, it's who you did it to. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you mess with the boogeyman. He's like, the boogeyman? Nah, that's the dude that you sent to go kill the boogeyman. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's who you woke up, and that's what's gonna happen. He gonna come for you, and you can't do nothing about it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's the craziest thing to be able to say to your son, but you know the game. Like, this dude wanted out. I gave him an impossible mission, and it happened, and he's out. And he grieving his wife, and you stole his car and killed his dog, and he coming to get you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he coming to get you. You know what I'm saying? It's like that kind of thing. So, like the John Wick character in that regard is, one of the greatest stories that's told without too much dialogue. Because I don't want to hear Keanu Reeves talking about nothing. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't want to hear him talking about nothing. I wanted to see him get busy. And out of that first 3, that trilogy, it's 369 deaths in the movie. And he responsible for 357 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I look, I'm a big fan. I seen it late. It was guided to me to watch that. And when I watched it, it was so impactful. And I was like, why am I watching such a gruesome? And after I watched the first one, it was on and popping. I was like, oh yeah. Yes. And again, the dog was so unnecessary. And again, that also speaks.
Yeah, the Watoto, right? The Watoto, the Toto, right? That's why the Wiz.
The beautiful little puppy, he was just a puppy. He just got the damn dog, okay? Yeah. He just got the dog. But it was
the
also
dog star serious, right? The dog
right.
Star.
It also speaks to spiritual authority, like people they always think they know. They look at you, they may see you. He saw John Wick, he didn't know who John Wick was, right? And so he sees this man and he's like, oh yeah, I like his car. Yeah, we're gonna follow him. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna run up on him, we're gonna do whatever we want to do to him, we're gonna treat him how we want to treat him. And they don't know.
He spoke to him in Russian. Like that should have gave you some information. Like, but that shows that
that's the arrogance. Right,
yeah.
And that's that
he's a neophyte. Like so,
right.
Like, let me be quiet. Hold on, you breaking me. My bad.
No, but he's not aware of the authority that he carries, and that's the thing. Even in again, when I watched it, I seen it in such a spiritual way, like. This man, again, minding his business. A lot of us like to mind our business, and you carry such an authority because you can handle it. He's not out here just killing people to kill people. He's killing people because people are messing with him. It's like, and that's why it's like that whole light, just being a light being thing. It's not. The whole world is about balance. How can you tell me spirituality is not about balance? So of course, if you are a light person, you carry darkness. I try to tell people I am kind, I'm not harmless. It's something within me that I tame to keep it inside, but that dragon can come out at any time. I walk with the light and the dark. You know why? Because there is such thing as balance. It was created for a reason. And so when I seen John Wick, it was just like, I felt such a resonance because he was, again, minding his business. No one understand, like these young, and again, this spirit that came towards him, a younger energy. He did not respect the authority that John carried. And because of that, he lost his life. Because of that, he had to learn a lesson. And in this life, sometimes God will use you as a target where people think, oh, look at this little Twinkie, look at this softie, oh, look at this person. And they can just, they see you as an easy target. And little do they know, you the boogeyman. Little do they know, you the thing they've been scared of their whole life. Little do they know, because you come dressed as the rabbit, that you actually got the gun. So it's funny when I watched that movie, because when I watched that, I was like, it was all soft, and I knew something was gonna happen when he came up to that car. I just knew it. But after that, it was on and popping, and I could relate in so many levels. And again, it was very spiritual when I watched it. Even with all the gruesomeness, it's always a time to kill. There's a time for peace, there's a time to kill. Sometimes you got to defend yourself, your peace. You got to protect your peace. And it's not even, even in this world, kill means to sometimes just let go of things, to release, to never cross that bridge again, is to kill something, to end it for all times. And sometimes we do that for our peace. And that's all John was trying to do. He was trying to end who he used to be so he can move into who he really wanted to be. And again, when you try to do that, your enemies ain't going to want to see you rise above who they want you to be. They want you to keep fighting because they're learning from you. You see, like you said, they were all trying to be like him, and he was an orphan. And again, I didn't even put the two and two. I didn't grow up with my parents at all. And it's so funny because when I was growing up, it was always this energy that I would feel off of people. And I couldn't understand it. But it's like people can see things in you can't see in yourself, especially when you're going through things. So as a child, being without parents, I was always focused on what I didn't have, not what I looked like or how others saw me. And so for others, other people, they can see your spirit. They can see who you are sometimes before you can see who you are. And, I felt like that Russian kind of, he knew something about John. Like you said, he spoke that Russian. He just wanted to challenge it. Sometimes people will see something in you and they want to challenge what they see in you because they feel like you can't be better than me. You can't. Nah. Like you can't be who you think you are, or you can't be, you know what I'm saying? When you carry yourself a certain way, certain people are going to challenge who you say you are. And that is crazy. Like, you can't tell me who I am, and they had to fuck around and find out. And John showed them. It was no doubt in his mind. That man had to turn his son over. He had to. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when John Wick come for you?
Mars. Yeah, and the movie that you referenced earlier, in regards to the psych ward, if you go back and look at One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson,
yes,
you kind of see the same movie, but you see it from the side of men versus the side of women.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, Whoopi Goldberg was in that movie back in the day, all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get to see everybody in their infancy, and Whoopi Goldberg had ruled the world for a moment. You see what I'm saying? She had ruled the world for a moment. She had a season of greatness where she did what she did from The Color Purple on up. But Ghost was something where now you start introducing things from a sensory perspective. Clairaudient, clairsentient. You see what I'm saying? And
right.
She thought she wasn't worthy of the gift, and she was the one the entire time, right? So she's kind of shrugging and moving away from the thing that was getting closer to her, unbeknownst to her. Like, she in there running this whole elaborate scheme and all that, and in that space of running this elaborate scheme, you find out, okay, she's like, my grandmother had it, my mother had it, I thought I never had it, blah, blah, blah. So it's her inclination to continue on mitochondrially. You see what I'm saying? But she's not thinking that this is her thing, right? So, like with the Wiz, with Dorothy, I'm like, Dorothy had become dissatisfied with where she was, and she wanted a new experience. So she goes back through the cosmic womb to come back again, right? But she doesn't know herself, and she has to go back now and regain aspects of herself, because she's in the state of the world, and she's walking around here like she afraid, and she God. You understand what I'm saying? Afraid of what? And afraid of who? You understand what I'm saying? So it took her Toto, or her Watoto, her child God, to go out, and she went out after Toto, right? So her child God, she went after to get, and she's transported back into the higher aspects of herself, where she needs to regain her heart, her head, and all of these other aspects, and realize that the man behind the curtain can't do a damn thing for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it for yourself. So her coming back into this space. So from her Toto or Watoto going back into the mommy watches. You see what I'm saying? Like, going back into that aspect, right? We in Pisces season, we back in the water. Like she running around like a fish out of water. So she has to go back into those places where it's like, you mean I could have went home anytime? Yeah. So these are other aspects of her being that she has to go back with. She's not going back into that space blind where she's walking around here afraid. She goes from fearful to fearless. You know what I mean? Living in the brownstone with her aunt and uncle, and she a grown woman. I'm like, this is a sharp dichotomy. So they're like, oh, the Wiz is the black version of the Wizard of Oz. No, fam. Don't play that. Don't do that. Because it cheapens what it is. And thinking like, oh, okay, the only way we get socially accepted is we got to mock some. Nah, they talking about Fort Knox and straw man and gold and all that other BS. They talking that. We're talking sacred spiritual sciences for reawakening in our essence, that God gene via intravenously our our womb, the mother womb, waking up the God force within you. She going to the lion. She said, "You a lion, be a lion." You understand what I'm saying? And restoring those them aspects of herself via the external force. Like, yo, what you mean you ain't got no brain? We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. You understand what I'm saying? And then you go to the man who's supposed to be heartless and remind him of the internal heart that exists within him. You got more feelings than anybody here. So restoring these aspects, and she's thinking she's at a deficit. So her sister come remind her, like, yo, fam, like all you had to do is believe in you. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna look. You think of it and you home. That's it. You see what I'm saying? So home is wherever you think it is. So she going back and she's transforming. She pick up her, Watoto and go in the house. Now she ready to face the world. So if you don't have any of these aspects after going through these challenges and thinking you about to lose yourself on the other side, you become you in those aspects. You ascend in those aspects. You ascend to those aspects of yourself when you confront it with these challenges and you thinking you losing something, you gaining everything. You losing that BS that's right there, but you're gaining everything in that regard. So I'm like, that's the story of the last dragon, right? So I'll save it for you. I don't know. I was about to go over there. I ain't going over there. I'll save it for the last dragon. Okay, I'll save it.
Yeah, let's save that one because that's gonna be so. I love that. The Wizard, yes, the Wiz was dope, and I learned a lot, even from just the concept of the wizard and the falseness behind believing that you was going to get to the end, and somebody who didn't even know themselves, who hid behind a mask,
right?
Grant. And it was when you were talking about her, at the end, she's thinking, all I had to do, I could have went home at any time. Right. It also reminded me of The Alchemist, right? The whole journey just to go back to where you started. And but it's you're a whole nother person now. After the journey, you become someone else because of all the experiences. You now are back to yourself. You have regained parts of yourself that yourself didn't even know that you were. Like, she spoke life into people. She didn't even know that was her power. Like they thought they was missing something, and she was like, "Well, I'm missing nothing." And it's her reflection. It was her reflection to them to show them what they had within themselves. And a lot of times, again, we need others to show us. If there were no mirrors, we live in this world really just to observe. And so every now and then we get to reflect on who we are. When we walk past the lake, or when we, that's the natural way. And now we got all these mirrors and stuff, and all day we reflecting on who we are. But really, truly, we should know who we are by the way that we treat the people around us, and allowing them to become like her. She reminding them of who they are, showed her who she was, along the way, and that she had more power than the false Wiz. She had more power than anything outside of herself.
Right. Yeah, that false Wiz holding up patriarchy and illusion, the illusion of power. You see what I'm saying? But he knew who he was for real. He's like, I'm a phony, I'm a fraud. Like,
yeah, at the end of the day, yeah.
Right. So he was trying to have them get rid of the competition. But again, these are aspects. There was nothing malevolent with who they call Eveline, and Eveline really just means live like life. Life is hard. You see what I'm saying? But she ain't want no bad news. I'm like, how you gonna tell me? Right? How you gonna tell me that you in this position and you working these folks to their grave? Damn near. But you tell me you don't want nobody to bring you no bad news. So that means that there's a space of disheartening. Like she got some news that broke her heart, right? And the great and powerful Oz, they show that the wizard and her had a relationship, and he left her for her sister, Glinda, quote unquote, the good witch, right? And this is how she became Eveline.
Demon
You know what I'm
Nine.
saying?
I had to add Eveline to the Don't Slay My Damn Dragon list.
Yeah. So they want to show her in a space that's like something wrong with her.
Right.
But she is somebody who was slighted. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, like oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, they show that relationship in the Great and Powerful Oz, and then they have this new one where they're going back and forth with each other. You see what I'm saying? That's it's the game, right? So kind of go back to the Matrix where they have the neophyte running around trying to find themselves, and they had themselves the whole time, but they could an answer exists outside of them instead of inside of them.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Dorothy. Shout out to all the great movies out there that remind us that we are who we are. And you know what? Shout out to all the villains who ain't villains. Because, I had that conversation with Smart Videogirl. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't mind being the villain in other people's movies as long as I'm the hero on my own. Because a lot of times you'll be villainized for just being your authentic self. And a lot of times if you look at the stories behind the villains was just being themselves. They was just being themselves, and something happened. It's always something that happened. Like the Joker. Oh my goodness, that was like one of my favorite villains right there. Like when they broke down the Joker movie, and it like really gave him, and also like it actually. There's been a whole era of them telling the villain story in a different light. You had Maleficent, and that was one. Now that was my favorite, Maleficent. We broke that down on Pronoia. And but the villains, they are villainized for not allowing themselves to be victimized. A lot of times the world will villainize you for not allowing yourself to become a victim of the world by not being but standing up for yourself or deciding, no, I'm not going to let you just take my damn wings and hang them up as a trophy of defeat. I'm going to come back for what's mine. And when you do that, then you have horns, and then you have, you went from this beautiful being to them even depicting you differently in pictures. And as we have a whole series, they vilify Kali and all the different, goddesses, and they depict even the witches. If they call you a witch, first thing they want to do is give you a pointy hat and a crooked nose and a little bump on your face. And when witch means wise woman, but it's a way to villainize it and to make you go away from that. And so everybody loves the hero, but no one ever asks the question, like, why is the villain the villain? And a lot of times the hero wouldn't even be the hero if there was no villain. So, I love stories. I love those kind of stories because they can really help us tap into our own archetypes, because we all go through parts in our lives where we play the villain and other parts where we are the hero. Knowledge, what happened to that cup? What is
that? Running over. Okay, the cup running over.
Man, listen. That was a nice sized cup. That was like one of them joints I got out in New Orleans when I.
That's one of my shot glasses right there. You see what I'm saying?
Not a shot, hell no.
Shot glass. Okay.
Nothing shot about that glass.
Yeah. So let's play a song real quick, and then we come right back. Okay, we come right back because we got a couple questions left. I know you got a couple questions left over there. So play a song and come right back. We here live with the goddess Rael. You know what I'm saying? She was born in the headlock. Okay. Your cousin, hook us up. You know what I'm saying? That's it. We'll be right back.
Martial Law Productions. This on some New York type vibe, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, they call me that long leg, tall 6-footer. Yeah, I'm Slim Goody, and I'm the goodest. Better than half these mumble rappers babbling about their gangster and pussy that they done captured. Disrespectful. Make me wanna smack you with a maxi pad full of a woman's blood, and maybe you regret you called her anything that was less than a god, cause she's a god, and tie you up and get my dome moms to beat you. Let me get back to the rap. I'm the hand in the clap. I'm all that like Pow Daffy Duck. You ducking down, I'm coming up. And they be like, damn, who the fuck is she? I am who I am, who the fuck I be? I rep the 212 to the 504 to the 404 to the 713. Really? Man, fuck it, I'm a earthling. Some call me a wish the way my potions be working. Give a fuck about your Birkin bag. Give me some dirt with land and apple trees so I could grow my own food. Really? That's the shit I'm on. I'm mastering metaphysics with the dick I'm on.
Yeah.
Some of y'all regret it, some of y'all regret it.
Big yo,
no
baby.
one can calm on this mic.
When desire meets destiny, that success is a recipe way past what the brain can comprehend is how you measure me. Beyond space-time, watch me lace rhymes while religious individuals still here trying to chase signs. Prophetic, comedic, spitting diuretic, that means the God shit on these peasants when they in my presence. Written hidden message like the hieroglyphs. You gon' need the Da Vinci Code and at least 1,000 microchips to decipher the cure for the sick shit. The game full of murderers, hoes, robbers, and misfits. Misguided, raised on that European trick shit. We bringing back the African voodoo, warlock, and witch shit. Black magic at its highest level, shame the devil. No knowledge of self cause they scared that you'll reign forever. Untamed beast, exorcism of these mental shackles. Graduated to a god, so to the right I turn my tassel. You say it's blasphemy, look at your current situation. Hate me, but give your oppressor your full participation. Historically they murder niggas with no hesitation, but you pledge allegiance to the folks that plan your devastation. Now that's sickening, who the fuck is you kidding? It's amazing how you niggas can be so fucking forgiving. For the pale face, the self-hate, the real pandemic. But with that same self-hate, ain't no love left in it. Y'all some trained niggas, the same niggas that'll aim at niggas, but won't check the same cracker that slain niggas. Killed, enslaved, and wonder why we enraged. It's ingrained, some of y'all don't even know your real name, nigga. And it's a shame, nigga. Big yo, baby. Real rap, bitch.
The painter, brother's letter. I should cut my ear off like Van Gogh. Stop performing at the Klan shows. Watch myself from the audience. Play piano with lit candles. I mean, I'll still perform, but the thrill is gone. I don't feel as strong, maybe cause the will is torn. I clutch in a ball cause I'm sick to my gut. Then I brushed off the dust, stood up like I was touched by healing palms. I picked up my shield and 3 rocks as I'm hearing psalms. Know ye not that ye are gods? And I've been blocked by bouncers, overlooked by the announcers. I'm in a stand with the fans, which told me many of my album was like a counselor. They said songs like Then From Now, got them from then to now. Even deja vu, they said the old man was you. In a reoccurring nightmare, where you kept coming back around. I took a picture with him, then he showed me a picture of his daughter in a cap and gown. He said he put her through college because your words stood up for knowledge. Said to be honest, you like a prophet. I said stop it. He said what made you right before quarantine take us to Nebula in a rocket? I said it was just my journey to the planet of gods, my divine intervention. Just a mantra I said for the monsters in my head. Kept reliving, but we true and living. Like 3 supermen then, he said, who you kidding? That was a beautiful listening. Clan came on and music was hitting. They did 4th chamber while I talked to strangers about his divorce and child support papers. Gotta restrain in court for his anger. On the cross cause of haters. As Ghost finish up with a black suede while he dawn. They look around, I'm not on. They search backstage and I'm gone. Much finish the set, play the next song. Play the next song. Nobody would remember. He hardly was a member. But the gods was his avengers. With the bars always an inventor. From kindergarten to jobs at the center. From the mini-mart, parking cars for the winter. Kept a penny jar. What's the odds I get injured? Dreams of a football star was hindered. My lovers died, my brother's demise. My first son arrived in September. Virgo.
No more pop locking like a turbo. Stopping in Stockton in my circles. Melanetza, love was eternal. Ancestors, embrace her. Soared in my dreams like Jacob. Wrestle with the devils before I wake up. Or was that an angel in flames who renamed you? Kill a priest to join the Wu-Tang school. Say to them, oh son of man, now children go in the land. Now I'm on send them 5 deadly venoms.
Freak out, yo.
Yeah, ma. Ma, say what up.
Huh?
Say what up.
Say what?
Say what's up. Ma, you look like grandma.
Oh, you looking at me now?
Oh my God, no. How that thing get so full? How that thing so full?
I don't know. I don't know.
That glass is not a shot.
So, God Israel, what's the question you always wanted to ask me, but you didn't?
Hold on. I had to catch my breath.
Let me clear my throat. Oh, have mercy me. I hope you don't mind.
Whoa. Okay, a question. I wonder, because you've been doing Due to Knowledge for, let's see, it says right here, 10 years?
Yeah.
What was that?
Ask me something. Don't ask me nothing about this. Ask me something else.
Don't ask you about, like, nothing about the show?
No.
Okay.
I'm here all the time. They don't care nothing about that. Use your powers, okay? Use your powers. They don't care nothing about none of this show. They know the show. They be here all the time.
I was going. They do be here all the time. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Let's do something personal. Let's do something challenging. Let's do something crazy. Whatever. I don't care.
All right.
Look, you see that world of Pisces? I'm telling you, that world of Pisces is like. Is she sure?
I'm gonna ask, because I don't know. So tell me about 16-year-old knowledge. Tell me, can you take me? Yes. To who was Knowledge in high school?
Knowledge wasn't in high school at 16.
Oh, okay. See, all right, here we go. Where was Knowledge?
Knowledge could no longer go to any schools. And I'm from Essex County. Essex County, Passaic, Essex County. Knowledge was banned from those schools. You could go to no schools in any of those districts. So at 16, Knowledge was in military school in Fort Dix. So Fort Dix is like South Jersey. It's a military base. McGuire Air Force Base, Fort Dix was one of the major stations that turned out the people to go directly into Vietnam. People don't know that. They went there, they trained in Fort Dix, and they went from Fort Dix to Vietnam. So at that time, well, I ain't going to, but and at 16 years old, I was there on that base with my last chance. My mother told me if I got kicked out of military school, I was going to go to jail until I was 21, not 18. 21. I was 16. You know what I'm saying? I could deal with the situation at 18. I'm like, damn, my mom was telling me. She's like, yeah, I don't deal with people off in the street. If you want to be a criminal in the street, I'm going to make sure that you go and visit N-words in jail. That's what she said. You understand? So I was like, good Lord, mama be still my heart. You understand what I'm saying? So I went to military school at 16. And one of the things I had always admired about Dr. King when I read his story is that he was done with high school at 16. So was I. I graduated with my high school diploma in GED at 16. So it was what it was. But to paint a picture of when I was born at 16, man, I was a young man seeking to learn himself. And I was in this military environment. The worst thing that they'd ever conceive. My brother was in military school before me. I came to class directly after my older brother. My older brother is a statesman. My older brother is everybody's favorite. He's a natural leader, right? He's a Taurus, right? Natural leader, natural cult leader. I'll say it like that for the Taurus, So if you start thinking about what's that guy, Jim Jones and them, you start thinking about Taurus.
I was hoping you weren't going to say Jim Jones.
They let you know, like I just let you know, like these are the kind of minds, like Malcolm X and Louis Farrakhan are both Taurus. So if you think about those two men, think about the movements that they led and the people that they involved, they have co-following. You see what I'm saying? Adolf Hitler was a Taurus. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you like the truth. Like in regards to this, even if you went out in Taurus, you have a cult following that follows you. Martin Luther King went out April 4th, 1968. He has a cult following with him because he went out in Taurus. You see what I'm saying? So at 16, I'm there. My brother before me, Taurus, right? So he's somebody that's likable, somebody that's daring, somebody that's courageous, naturally born leader with a cult following. Okay. And then here I come, Gemini, right after him. Now, he's in there and he says to me, to the people that's in leadership, because he got into a little situation with one of them pale skinned folks, and he hit him twice, and it looked like somebody hit him 1,000 times, right? And he's like, I'm not racist, I love everybody. My little brother, though, he don't care nothing about him. He probably would have murked him. He don't care nothing about him. And then I show up next class. So I'm already identified as somebody that they're gonna have a problem with. I got there to the military school. It was 4 people who had some connection to the Islamic science, right? Or the Islamic religion. Science, religion, whatever the case will be, or the way of life, right? Within 2 weeks, it went from us 4 to 50 of us. In 2 weeks. So all of a sudden, now we become the problem. Right? And the problem connects back to me. So at 16, I'm contending with grown men and women with anti-Islamic sentiment, right? And they're looking at me like I was a problem until I was a solution in 2 cases. There was a young man that he had wrote 666 on his skin, and he's telling these people that he worshiped the devil and blah blah blah, and he's one of Satan's followers. So we have a period trying to get our food, and the sergeants come to me like, "Hey, you need to talk to this dude right now." I'm like, "Can I get my food?" They're like, "No." they're like, they're like, "No, you can't. You can't get your food. I need you to talk to this dude right now." I'm like, "We like, what's up?" He's saying that he's a disciple of Satan and blah 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 and this and this. And we got to kick him out of here or send him to the Titan War. So I'm like, these grown men don't know how to deal with a kid. This guy's 16, 17 years old. He can't be older than 18. You can't be 18 in this particular military school, right? So I go over there and I look at him, and he got this pork bacon, whatever, and I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Hey man, I worship Satan." I was like, "No, you don't." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "No, you don't." I'm like, "You trying to get kicked out of here? You obviously got to be here for a reason. These people are afraid, and if they're afraid of you, their story is going to be correct. So if you want your life to be curbed based off of these things that they're talking about to you," I'm like, "I know you don't worship the devil, and I know ain't nothing wrong with you. You're in an environment that you can't control, so you're afraid." I'm 16, deducing this man. You understand the same age? I'm deducing this man down to his essence right here. Because this is what the spirit is saying to me. But his body is afraid of the environment that he's in, so he's acting out. If he was a little milk of magnesia boy, they would have handled that with care. But it was a little black dude. So I'm like, you need to stop eating this pork bacon. That's the first thing. And then the second thing, you need to be easy. You need to be easy over here because you don't look at things out of that kind of way where they ascribe these things to somebody who look like us as something that they could deal with. They'd rather put you in jail or an institution than to actually deal with you as a young black man. And he threw that pork bacon away, and he came into our fold. So now they're like, "Oh, all right." So now this thing that you was looking at was crazy was actually helping people gain some God consciousness being about themselves. So that's 16, and then there was a place where one of my partners from my neighborhood, he was in the situation kind of like me, not to the age of 21, but if he got kicked out of there, he was going to go to prison until he was 18. And they got him mixed up with us and was like, he got to go. I'm like, he got to go? I'm going to, the leadership, like, he not with us. He not a problem. Everybody loves him. He's one of the people that everybody loves. Like, what's up? I'm like, send me instead of him. And they're like, "Oh, the decision been made. He got to go, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Yo, he's going from here to prison. You okay with that? He's not even going home. He don't even get to go back home. Like, they came and picked him up and took him to prison." So they like, this is crazy. So everybody's like, "Yo," they call him Big Worm from Friday, right? The first one. I'm like, They're like, yo, man, they kicked that big worm, man. Forget this program. So I'm like, we in silent protest of big worm getting kicked out. So, it's a military environment. That's not nothing that they abide by. So they like, oh, this is some y'all are being insubordinate. So we out there in the rain, we doing push-ups and all that. And they're like, y'all better sound off. I said, don't say nothing but big worm. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody, like we doing these push-ups in the rain. I'm like, they gotta feed us. You understand? We could be here all day. We can't really be here all day. There's a training schedule that they gotta adhere to. So we out there in the rain doing these push-ups, and every time we go down and up, we like big worm. They're mad. They're really mad. So we go to the cafeteria and come back, and then everybody's upset. I was like, don't nobody say nothing. Don't say nothing. So they get back, and it's like two people get into it with each other, and they're about to fight. And that little fight that was about to happen turned into 300 teenagers about to cause a riot. So I'm out there looking at this stuff festering, and I saw their response. Their response was DOD police, security force, and military police to these children. We children. And I think Jackie was out there. He was out there. He lived out there, so he know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, everybody going crazy. It's like trying to be 300 kids against these police. So I said, I step out in the midst of all of it. I said, I don't care about what's about to happen. So I'm there with my people. I said, but if anybody under any circumstances, to anybody that's with me, we taking y'all up out of here. We don't fear nothing but our Lord. I said, so decide. It's 300 people on this side and the DOD police on this side. Those 300 people all of a sudden start going upstairs. And this little situation that was about to be hostile turns into something that was squashed based off of what I said. And now they're looking like, oh. Like the Malcolm X movie where he do this and everybody start walking off and the crowd that was behind them all of a sudden start to disperse. I might as well have did that. Right? So the people are like, oh, okay, all right. It's over with. So now the DOD police that was there, they got to leave because there's nothing else for them to do. So like they was mobilized for no reason at all. But they was ready to split the heads and use tear gas and all kinds of stuff against kids for all intents and purposes. So, yeah, that was me. I've been playing the role of a reformer for all intents and purposes, working with at-risk youth as an at-risk youth. So one of my programs is GTK Empower You Youth Services, because giving back to these communities, I was giving back to, I was poured into as a youth. So giving back to the youth in that kind of way. And just because you turn the age doesn't mean you know what's going on. So from 7 to 18, we deal with at-risk youth, but from 19 to 35, we got strategic planning services where we deal with the folks who age out, right? So they consider you supposed to know what's going on, but they ain't got no plan. I was 16-year-old. Okay. Step away from the uniform, a step away from the military, a step away from a prison cell. In those essence, places I found myself in story and mission. So,
Shay. He was an activist at 16. He was leading the youth while he was still being led, trying to lead himself. Shout out to you. Well, again, we're going to get to know so much more about you on Pronoia in season 6 as you teach us and show us, how to tell our own stories. That was also a part of the story I never would have ever known about knowledge. 16-year-old knowledge. Okay. But
when did you come into the fullness and become okay with your psychic ability and you becoming truly one with spirit and source in that regard? Like, when was it, and what was that like going forward versus going back and forth with yourself, over the years based off of what that was?
I know I have an old soul because when I was 9, I think that's the furthest back I can remember the first incidents where I realized that I had a deeper connection to spirit than I thought. And I first thought everybody had the same connection. Not that we don't, but that everybody was tapped in at a young age until I started realizing that I was a little different. But the connection has always been there. Being comfortable with sharing that information only came in later, much later in life. But I knew from an early age that I was different spiritually as far as knowing things before they would happen and, hearing voices, smelling scents that would be like, I could smell perfume and just in passing. But always having like dreams. Dreams were my thing growing up. And so I explained that like my mom was one of the only people that I would talk to really about my spirituality, because again, I lived in lots of different states, and being a kid moving around a lot, it was hard to make friends. So you definitely didn't want to seem like the weird friend. And so it wasn't very easy to talk to kids. Kids growing up would bully you anyway about any little thing. And I came from Alabama to DC. So, there was a big difference when I started moving around from state to state on how children would treat each other. So, yeah, I knew at an early age that I had some abilities. They grew over time. But expressing that didn't come until after, like, honestly, within the last 10 years, being comfortable with expressing it. And still now, recently I had put a post up on Facebook kind of expressing my disappointment in some of my family, friends, or so-called friends, associates. I don't really have a lot of friends, but associates that are very religious, but unable to see people just as people. Maybe you are religious. That's great. That's what you choose to do with your life. But I'm not. And not being able to accept that I'm not like you, is so wild to me, because the people that I know that are very spiritual are very accepting of those who are very religious. But the people that I know that are very religious are not very accepting of the people that are very spiritual. And so, the books that I used to read, the things that I used to tap into were not very popular back in the day when I was growing up, we're in a new age now, so it's a little bit more open with expressing yourself spiritually. So it's become a little bit easier than it would have been earlier on, but the connection has always been there. And I would say I was tapped in very young. I told the story about the sitting in the back seat and realizing that I had a body. Like I was sitting in the back seat and just my soul was like excited, like, oh my God, I got hands. Like my hands were in front of my face, and I was like, oh, I got hands. Like I got a body, and that was, I was probably like 6 years old when that happened. But it was the voice. I heard the voice of my higher self, and I have to say it was my higher self because it sounds very similar to the voice I hear today when I was a child. And so the guidance that came to me when I was in some of the darkest days as a child, I heard so clearly. And so I've always trusted the divine. And I guess I'm a firm believer in what you seek seeks you. And because I started seeking so early on, you know, I grew in my confidence of spirit, but I always hid it. You know, I hid it with, again, I went to church all the time, but I knew it was something more than that. I always knew there was more to it because I felt it around me all the time. And being a young child that was always in isolation a lot, it was always just me. Even when I was, you know, I had lived with my grandmother, my aunt, and them. If you've ever grew up in a house that was not your mother and father, it was a lot different. So people, you know what I'm saying, they love you, but they had their own things going on. So I was a lot of times by myself, which enriched my connection to divine spirit. So again, the connection's been there for a long time, but just being able to express that and not really care about what other people think, that came within the last 10 years. And then within the last 2 years, I really don't care because it's like God, you know, not only have I heard the voice of God, I felt the presence of God within the last 2 years that made me feel like, you know, what can somebody tell me when I've actually felt it myself? Like no one can tell me that God can be contained in only one book or God can be contained in this only one way when I know for a fact that God has shown up in my life in a whole totally different way. I didn't have to call on anyone else other than God. You know, I didn't have to go through anyone else. I didn't have to be perfect. I didn't have to stop cursing. I didn't have to, you know, be 100% righteous for God to show up for me. So I knew, that's when I knew that, like, you know, the God that I serve is bigger than what people are trying to, you know, make it out to be. So I explained to, you know, my Facebook friends, I guess, that, you know, the God that I serve, because a lot of people don't think I even like believe in God, which is weird, because I believe in the God that came before the Bible. I believe in the God before the written word of God. I believe in the God that created the creation of everything. Like, and so just because I don't pray the way other people pray, and I don't, you know, because I see it in a different manner, you know, the relationship that I have with God has always been true though, you know, and God has always confirmed that to me because I'll ask if I'm on the wrong path, you know, remove me, and God will shift me. But God will also let me know you were on the wrong path, but you weren't doing the wrong things. You know, sometimes you could be on the right, you could be doing the right things on the wrong path. You know, you just didn't know you was on the wrong path, and God will will shift you off of that path, especially if you fall on God.
That's the villain. The villain comes from the villager. You know what I'm saying? So the village people, right? the villagers, right? That's where the villain comes from. You see what I'm saying? So the villain comes from the people that the ruling class deems as the villain. They vilify the people because they got to take advantage of them. You see what I'm saying? So once they pull one out of the stack and identify him or her as the villain, more her than him. You know, the Salem witch trials, they took regular women and did that. You understand what I'm saying? regular black women before they went to anybody else. I want to be clear on that. You see what I'm saying? So they play on the minds of the villagers. Like, you know, they have a term called village idiot. That's everybody. Because they can be shown anything and they know their psychology and they can get them to move. So I know we done went way past the time we were supposed to go for this. So I'm going to give you a chance for your final remarks, you know, a final word, whatever you want to share, and tell people where to find your platform and where to find you if they want to collaborate, if they want to see the greatness of what we promote. So I'm going to be quiet and all eyes on you.
Well, thank you again for allowing me to come on for this promo tour for Pronoia Starseed Podcast. Yes, we will be back with season 6. It starts on March the 10th, Transformation Tuesdays. Make sure you tap in. The show is New Frequency, Who Dis? What happens when you upgrade in frequency and some programs just don't work anymore. So tap in on March the 10th. That's the first show of season 6. Also, we have 7 Starseeds this season. So make sure you're tapped in and you hit that notification bell. It's Pronoia, Pronoia, Starseed Podcast. And Pronoia means that the universe is always conspiring in your favor, no matter what it seems like. Everything is working out for you. I know that it's hard to believe sometimes, so Divine has made my life stand on it. So believe me when I say that I got stories for you. If you don't believe that everything is working out for you, it is. You just have to believe it. You have to see it. And you have to know that the universe only works for you because you are the universe. Okay, so you can catch me on Pronoia Starseed Podcast on all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And if you are interested in coming on as a guest, please DM me on Instagram and we can have that conversation. It's been a pleasure to be here tonight. I will be back on March the 4th and March the 5th with more Starseed guests to join us here on Do the Knowledge Radio.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand. I can't explain the way these crown loads they come to me. Morning meditation, Psalm 91 and 23. Watering my money tree, manifest abundantly. On a mission, running free, everything they wanna be. In summary, there's been a shift within the earth sphere. So now people hear my messages and words clear. Still shining, the illest with the brilliant timing. The gold mine who had to go find a silver lining. Ain't nothing new underneath the sun. I be going through it too, you ain't the only one. Don't take none of this life personal, cause we all got some lessons that we working through. Ain't nothing new underneath the sun. I be going through it too, you ain't the only one. Don't take none of this life personal, it's just the lessons that we working through. So why you tripping, huh? Why you mad, son? Got some good days and some bad ones. Might win some, might lose some. That's just the way it goes, life 101. Why you tripping, huh? Why you mad, son? Had some good days and some bad ones. That's just the way it goes, life 101. Yeah, life gon' be life until your day's done. Never will you see a thief return a treasure stolen. No need to lock away your heart if it was never open. Truth heals the spirit and it's better spoken. Most never heal, they remain forever broken. I protect over my cells like a prison guard. True and living star, pay the price to get these wisdom bars. Listen hard, I was cut out of a different cloth. Turn your light up on these hoes and never switch it off. The queen's a winner, moving like a seasoned ninja. I'm even tempered, never beefing like a vegan dinner. I found peace within my inner, that's a sweet surrender. Don't relive your lessons twice like repeat offenders. They'd rather see me decompose like leaves in the winter. Want me to undermine my shine and decrease my shimmer. While they competing in subliminal battles, I'm only fighting hidden parts of my invisible shadow. Cause I learned that people never want the bitter truth, just the sweetness. But you need both the light and dark to reach completeness. Goddamn, people throw rocks and hide their hands. Vindicate the wolves and they silence in the lambs. Fight to keep your soul purer than a sacred virgin. Even if you die in the rebirth.
It's the Mark of Booty.
Shit. Nah. Love the royal priesthood. Mark of Buddha, Sekou the Madman, Killer Priest, Fourth Chambers, Full Fuji. This beat sound like something I wear. You dig? Yo, hold on my people, why you walking around like you equal? They wrote you in as 3/5. What we gonna do about this? Talk too much, you end up like Jimi Hendrix in 27 Club. You want that knowledge? Well, I'm the plug. Knowledge itself is the drug, and I keep dropping the nugs. Culture pushing, wisdom spitting, pimping simpletons into listening. Yawning while you spewing fiction. I can feel the tensions in your intentions. I wonder if that's Johnson heaven. If God is white, why he write that bronze was the sun? They give us reparations, that's when the apocalypse begun. Yeah. Red rhyme, okay. Yeah, red rhyme, better rhyme. Grab your guns, daughters and sons. Wasn't long ago when they had it hung. Blood on the leaves, frontal crumbled in between. Exhale from my ancestors that prevailed. We inhale, so we inhale, dodging death every day. Just happy I'm here to tell the tale. Meanwhile, y'all with the pigs and them tattletales. I'ma just be a scientist if it all fails. Mixing chemicals like a cocktail. My tree smell like it's from the tropical. So not for sale, never settle. Follow the tears on the trail. Nah.
That whole African American thing is to omit. You see, the indigenous black man of this particular land, when we brought the African American term, we cut out all of the Caribbean, all of South America, all of Latin America. And this is another way to reclassify you, you see what I'm saying, outside of power.
We got blacks, whites, brown and yellow. We got red, those with dreads found from the ghetto. We got bullet-led and misled, the smile of the devil. On the face of the moon, heart pound like a rebel. Hear the sound of the metal. War in Iraq, 6 feet underground with the shovel. All over the map, the Bible said signs of the time. The Torah said that's your God, not mine. The Holy Quran says it's all Allah's design. The Buddhist says let's meet at the shrine. Thou shalt not eat of the swine. That you is the cut, sure as blue as the blood. Killer priests in the temple, Nehru is the love.
That's a political move that was put in by the government to break you down to this subclass, you see, and not be a world community. So to call you an African American is to disconnect you from that global community and that great diaspora that we were talking about. So that's a political move. Yes, come on. The average Native American was this brother's complexion at the turn of the century. Now when you say Native American, it's some white person with a feather in his hair.